One day, I got a call saying my husband had been in an accident. The shocking part wasn't just the accident itself, but that his mistress had been with him in the car. She didn't survive, and my husband was left paralyzed from the waist down. Amid all of this, he started demanding that I take care of him for the rest of his life. Was I supposed to dedicate my life to taking care of a man who had been cheating on me? This was too much to handle. Let me introduce myself. I'm Mandy, 32 years old. I live with my husband, Ray, and our daughter, Lily, who is almost 5. I had taken a break from my job when I got pregnant, but I went back to work when Lily started daycare. Between working and taking care of my child, I'm always busy, but my life feels complete. Ray works hard and does a great job taking care of Lily. As a husband, a father, and the head of our family, he always gives his best. Our daily routine includes having dinner together and listening to Lily's stories after Ray gets home from work. Hey Daddy, I drew a picture at daycare today. Oh, really? You're so good at drawing. Lily, next time, you should draw a picture of me. Okay. Oh, and Mary said her family went to the amusement park today. I want to go too. The amusement park? Ah, how about we all go next weekend? I love you, Daddy. I love you too, Lily. Well, after your mom, of course. Then Ray would wink at me, and Lily would puff her cheeks out, pretending to be annoyed. These simple moments with my family were my greatest joy. But over time, something changed with Ray. He started coming home late and leaving early in the mornings, even on his days off. At first, I thought it was just a coincidence, but the strange behavior kept happening more often, and it started to worry me. So, I decided to confront Ray about it. Ray, you've been coming home late a lot lately. Are you busy at work? Oh, yeah, I've got some new projects and stuff. I see, but you also leave early in the mornings on your days off, and you never tell me where you're going. Well, I've been visiting my parents. I thought I should check on them every once in a while. Your parents' house, we see them every few months, and they're doing fine. Why all these sudden visits? I was suspicious, but I didn't want to push too hard, so I let it go for that day. 2 weeks later, Ray texted me again, saying he would be home late because of overtime work. He didn't come home until after midnight. When he did come in, he was in a good mood, but something about him was off, and I noticed it right away. Ray, where have you been? I told you I had to work late, didn't I? What about that smell? What smell? The scent of sweet perfume. It's clearly a woman's fragrance. Why would you smell like that if you were working late? Ray's eyes were darting around, clearly nervous. As I pressed him, he quickly interrupted. Well, there was a client event today. One of the VIPs at the client's place is a woman. You'd expect some perfume to rub off if we were drinking together, right? Then why did you lie to me from the start? There was no need to lie about overtime. I felt guilty because you've been working hard at home, taking care of everything, and Lily, I didn't want to lie to you, but I didn't want you to worry. Seeing how nervous Ray was, I didn't push him any further. Since I had work the next day, I decided to let it go and went to bed. But every time he came home late, I could smell that same perfume on him. Whenever I asked about it, he'd just say it was another client event, and nothing more. Without him knowing, my suspicions grew stronger. Then one day, feeling like something was definitely off, I left Lily with my parents and met up with my younger sister. Once we were sat at a cafe, I started talking to her about Ray's behavior. Ray's been coming home late a lot recently. So, you're saying he always smells like a woman's perfume? Yeah, he's definitely cheating, my sister said seriously. Really? I asked, still trying to process. She nodded firmly, confirming what I already suspected. I had a feeling something was wrong, but hearing it from someone else made me believe it even more. So, Ray is really cheating on me? I asked, trying to make sense of it all. It's strange to have client events with the same person so often, and besides, he must have been close enough to the woman for her perfume to stick to him, my sister said. I guess so, I replied, feeling overwhelmed. I know it's tough with Lily and all, but you really need to have a serious talk with Ray, she said. Just then, my sister's tone changed, and she said, "Hey, look over there." "What's going on?" I asked, confused. "Speak of the devil," my sister said. "Isn't that your husband?" Following the direction of her finger, I saw Ray with a young woman, younger than me, tightly holding his arm. The sight was so cruel, I didn't know how to react. Ignoring my shock, my sister quickly started snapping pictures of them on her phone. "What are you doing?" I whispered, stunned. "Just standing here. We need evidence," she said urgently. "But, no buts, hurry up, I'll take the pictures, and you start recording a video." Reluctantly, I shakily opened the camera app on my phone. Ray and the woman got into his car, arm in arm. They kissed each other over and over again. I recorded everything, and I didn't stop filming until the car drove away. I was Ray's wife, now holding undeniable proof of his cheating. In that moment, I forgot we were even in a cafe, and tears started rolling down my cheeks. My sister remained quiet for a moment, but then she took my hand and said firmly, "Sis, I know it's hard, but you really need to talk to Ray. You can't ignore this." "I know," I whispered, trying to hold myself together. "But this is also for Lily's sake," my sister continued. "Can we just stand by and let this despicable man who lies and cheats be her father?" Her words hit me hard. I suddenly realized the truth. If I didn't confront this, I was letting Ray get away with it, and that wasn't something I could allow, especially not for Lily's sake. I had to protect my daughter. Ray might be her father, but after what he's done, he no longer had the right to be. After talking it over with my sister, we decided to have Lily stay with our parents for the day. I was finally ready to confront Ray. I was waiting for my husband to come home, but no matter how long I waited, he didn't show up. Around 10 p.m., our rarely used landline phone rang. I wondered who could be calling at this hour. When I picked up the phone, a man's voice asked, "Is this Mrs. Johnson's residence?" "Yes, it is. Who am I speaking with?" I replied. "This is the police. Is this Mr. Ray Johnson's residence?" "Yes, it is," I said, confused. "What's going on?" "Please stay calm. Your husband has been involved in a car accident," the officer said. "What?" I asked, shocked. The police officers explained that my husband had been in a car accident, and a woman who was in the passenger seat with him had died. They told me my husband had been taken to the nearby university hospital. I rushed to the hospital without even thinking to grab anything. At the hospital, I found out my husband was undergoing surgery in the emergency room. The police officers came in to explain the situation. "Based on what we know, it looks like your husband and the woman who passed away were in a close relationship," the officer said. "Is that so?" I asked, stunned. The officers looked at me with a confused expression. "Did you have any suspicions?" "Yes," I replied, feeling sick. I was just about to confront him today with proof of his affair. "I see," the officer said. "This is hard to say, but your husband may have a disability because of the accident." "That's enough," I said, cutting him off. As I continued talking to the police, I learned that the woman my husband was with was also married. The husband of the mistress, who had also rushed to the hospital, seemed very disoriented. His face looked completely shocked. Since only Ray had survived, it was clear how serious the situation was. A few days later, after my husband finished his surgery, he regained consciousness for the first time since the accident. I immediately headed to the hospital with my parents, my sister, and my daughter. I left Lily with my sister, and only my parents and I went into the hospital room. When we arrived, my in-laws were already there. The doctors explained that my husband had been left with paralysis on one side of his body due to the accident. My husband, seeing this, started apologizing remorsefully. "I'm sorry. I know I've caused you all a lot of worry." Before I could respond, my in-laws rushed to his bed. "What are you apologizing for? It's good enough that you're alive. Being alive is like hitting the jackpot," they said. That's right. Ray, you're usually a good man, and that's why you survived, they added. My husband and my in-laws seemed to be celebrating like nothing had happened. It was as if the affair had never existed. My worry turned into anger, and I couldn't hold it in anymore. Sorry to interrupt your celebration, I said, but Ray, will you divorce me? What? He asked, shocked. I've got these divorce papers. Can you please sign them? I said, holding them out to him. Divorce? What are you suddenly talking about? He asked, looking confused. You had an accident with your mistress. What are you even saying? I said, trying to control my anger. No, you've got it all wrong. The woman in the car with me was just a business associate, not a mistress. My husband started to lie desperately. Did he really think I would believe him? I decided to tell him the truth. Do you plan to play dumb now? I already know. I know you cheated, Ray. No, I swear I didn't cheat, he protested. You were at a cafe with your mistress the day of the accident, weren't you? I saw you to get into the car together. No, that's not. Don't make excuses. I raised my voice, forgetting I was in the hospital room. You even cut down on the time with Lily to spend it with your mistress. What the hell were you thinking? At the moment, my mother-in-law interrupted me, frowning. Oh dear, Mandy, why are you so angry? If Ray cheated, it's because you did something wrong. What? What are you saying? I was stunned. Ray just regained consciousness, right? She continued, as though I wasn't even there. And you've heard it from the doctor. Ray ended up with hemiplegia due to the after effects of the accident. What does that have to do with the divorce? From now on, he'll need your full care. If you have time to talk about divorce, you should be studying how to care for him. That's right, my husband added, agreeing with his mother. You'll be taking care of me from now on, as my wife. In that moment, any sympathy I had left for him vanished completely. At first, I did feel sorry for him had an accident, even though he had cheated, but now, I couldn't care less. They showed no remorse for what they'd done to me. All they cared about was themselves. I took a deep breath, trying to control my anger, and turned to my mother-in-law. Are you serious? Who in the hell would want to take care of a cheating idiot? An idiot, she gasped. How dare you insult my son, Ray? Well, it's the truth, isn't it? He cheated, and that's what led to this accident. If the accident was his fault, then cheating is his fault too. You say it's my fault, and yet you still defend your cheating son. I've been juggling work, childcare, and housework for our family, and you blame me for what happened. Is that how it is? My tone was firm, and with each word, my mother-in-law's voice grew quieter. My husband, unable to stem my words, yelled at me. How dare you talk to my mom like that? He seemed to think that because he was the patient, he had some kind of superiority. He glared at me, but I moved closer to him, looking down at him with intense eyes. He muttered, "What the? Cut the crap," I said firmly. Who do you think is responsible for the mess we're in now? He hesitated, clearly not getting it. The reason we're in this mess is because you betrayed our family by cheating. I snapped. Then you got into an accident with your mistress. You must be a total fool. There's no other word for it. He seemed to think it was all my fault and said, it's all messy now because you suddenly started talking about divorce. He still didn't feel guilty for anything that had happened. With disgust and bitterness in my heart, I lashed out, "Grow up, you worthless man. How long are you going to blame everyone else? Think about it yourself. We're the one who cheated, and on top of that, your mistress died in the accident. Stop justifying yourself." Mandy, he stammered. You destroyed our family with your thoughtless affair, I shouted. I don't know how much pain Lily will have to go through because of you. You've not only hurt me, but you've also trampled on our daughter's heart. There's no way I could stay married to someone like you. Just go on and paralyze yourself for all I care. As I walked away, Ray was speechless, his face pale. I took a deep breath, and just then, the door to the hospital room opened. Lily, I said, surprised. How did? Sorry, sis, my younger sister said, bowing her head. I took my eyes off Lily for just a moment. Lily had walked in, and Ray quickly tried to latch onto her. Lily, You don't want mommy and daddy to be apart, right? Lily paused for a moment, thinking, before finally answering, if mommy's here, I'm fine. Ray looked dumbfounded. Lily continued, because mommy looks sad when she's with daddy, that's because daddy's doing something mommy hates, right? Lily looked at me and said, I hate daddy who makes mommy sad. I don't need a daddy, I'm fine with just mommy. Ray seemed completely shocked by her words. He didn't say anything more, and just laid down on the bed, his shoulders slumped. I took that as my cue and pushed the divorce papers towards him again. This time, he gave up and quickly signed them. I hired a lawyer and started the process for alimony and child support using the evidence of his affair. He was also informed about the damages from the husband of his mistress, which meant he had to pay a lot. His mistress, a junior at his company, had her affair exposed, which led to her being fired. It wasn't just an affair had taken a woman's life, this was his punishment. The double damages drained all of Ray's savings, and he had to sell his house, moving into a small apartment with his in-laws. I heard they were taking care of him every day since he was now in a wheelchair. As for me, I decided to stay at my parents' house for a while with Lily. Once we were settled, I planned to live alone with her again, but I thought it might be better for Lily's mental health to be surrounded by more people for a while. One day, on the way to daycare, I asked her about something that had been bothering me. Hey, Lily, are you really okay with daddy not being here? Is it okay with just mommy and you? Lily smiled brightly and cheerfully replied, I love mommy the most. I hate everyone who makes mommy sad. I smiled and said, I see, mommy loves Lily too. Then, Lily threw her arms around me with all her strength. I hugged her back tightly, feeling more determined than ever to protect her for the rest of my life.